Good morning, everyone. Hello. It's quiet today. This is a little bit quiet attendance. I think, Andy, if you're okay with it, we still have Maggie linking on, but we have a quorum, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't just go ahead and get started on time and start with the minutes. Hi, Monique. I saw a really cool story about you. We need to send that to the board. It was really, really cool.
I will.
Nice. Okay.
I'm going to send it to your phone, because I don't have Maggie and myself.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, good morning. I think we'll just go ahead and get started. And today, you've got your agenda in front of you, and we have a quorum. Councilor Lewis is still going to dial in here just in a minute, but we'll go ahead and get started because we do have a quorum with the minutes of May 13th. Thank you. Second. Thank you.
All right. All in favor, say aye. Melina Kennedy.
Aye.
Nick Terrell.
Aye.
David Runcorf.
Aye.
Jim Dora.
Aye.
Maggie Lewis if she's on. Bro Good.
I'm on. Aye.
Aye.
And that's it for present. I think that passes.
Okay, Tim, financial update.
Andy, did you hear me?
I
Yes.
did. Thank you, Maggie.
Thanks, Maggie.
All right, thank you.
I just sent it.
I'll get there. I'll get it. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. April 2022 ended with a revenues net of expenses of a negative $1.5 million, and that's about $6.4 million less than the same month of 2019. Main reason difference there is some capital outlays, projects that I'll mention later. So as we look at the actual financial statements, the tax revenue ended at $11.2 million, which is up $945,000, which is 9% more than April of 2019. Largest variance there is the PSDA, as I've mentioned in the meetings before. The increase in the annual cap has led to that increase. Operating revenue was at $2.7 million, which is $593,000, or 18% less than 19. Majority there is just due to the events that we held in both respective years. On the expense side, personal services is down $842,000, or 43%. Variance there is in the part-time temporary line, as well as we had a correction to our payroll accrual that affected March and April. So this is the correction that we saw from March. Total supplies is up $44,000, or 16%. We just purchased more supplies this year. Other services is higher by almost $1 million, 21%. Some of the larger variances there are the contract labor, computer supplies, repairs and maintenance. Those all, we just spent more, a lot of smaller items in there. Capital outlay, so again, it was up $5.9 million over April. Some of the bigger projects there's $4 million spent on the field house project. Lucas Oil video board replacement was $1.3 million. And then we spent it was $953,000 on the architect and legal for the convention center expansion. Debt service was $683,000 more, but that was expected due to our new bond compared to 19. So pretty normal fund.
Sorry about that, Tim. We're just doing a quick quorum check. Yeah. We're gonna have to vote. Yeah, we're waiting for Jamie. We do need to have 5 people in the room for the votes. So sorry about that. This is not a vote, but are there any questions for Tim on the financial update? Sorry about that, Tim. Still working in this post-Zoom hybrid world.
Just for context, to put sort of the financial report, I mean, what we are seeing this year, our occupancy is up, obviously, over year to year, but it's still not where it was pre-pandemic. I think that just really has to do with our schedule. We haven't seen a lot of cancellations or anything as a result of COVID. It's just sort of normal organic business activity. What we are doing that we hadn't done the previous 2 years is capital projects, right? Lots of sort of delayed or postponed capital projects now. So that's largely why you see our expenses on those lines, and really seeing the month-over-month differences from the year prior. So wanted to just make that clear. Also, events cost money and the expenses are there. A lot of times we spend the money and then go or collect the money from the events of the past month and this month. So Tim, and I are in constant contact and want to make sure that everybody understands that we're proceeding along our budget as planned. So.
Sorry, quick sidebar. Do you know if Jamie's definitely coming? Because Maggie said she can get here. She's at the English building.
Have you heard from Jamie this morning?
No.
Because Maggie's at the English Foundation if we need her to come here.
Yeah.
Why don't we continue with Leonard, if you want to go ahead and do the English Foundation report. I'm sorry, the Visit Indy report.
Yeah, I'm not prepared to give that English Foundation report.
That's next time.
Yeah. Well, greetings from a hotel room in Washington, D.C. Sorry to join you virtually when you're in our own offices. I know that Monique and Eric will be thrilled to know that I have to leave for the airport as soon as I get my report, so that I will not be embellishing their reports afterwards. So, if you go to slide number 12 in your packets, the monthly hotel report, it's really excellent news. There's some green in April of 2022, meaning that that's an all-time record, and that includes downtown revenue. So even though we're not fully back in terms of occupancy and things like that, rate has increased enough to overcome that. And for year to date, in Marion County, we were actually in the all-time revenue record through the end of April. So think about that in 2022, even with all the things happening around us and the COVID challenges that remain, as we kind of move into this endemic status, we are at 102.2% of the 2019 year-to-date numbers for Marion County, which means that when Tim catches up on the revenue coming back into the CIB, you're going to be at an all-time record for hotel tax revenue through the end of April. So that's really exciting news. And as I mentioned, downtown, even in April of 2022, was an all-time record for revenue for the downtown hotel. So all in all, that's a pretty good report. One of the things that I've spent the last 2 days meeting with about 20-something customers here in DC, and the general feedback is that they are kind of mentally moving into endemic status. That there are certainly people who are going to events who may catch COVID at events nationally, internationally, but the reality is that people are not necessarily being hospitalized and things of that nature, and so it's kind of that we're moved into that state. So we're not seeing cancellations. We're here at DC, we're not hearing about groups canceling their events. So I would just tell you that for the time being, at least, everybody's staying the course, and that things are in pretty good shape moving forward. If you go to slide number 13, we are at 91% year-to-date of our booking goal through the end of May. We're actually on pace to do over 100% after the end of June, which is in the middle month of a quarter. June is not a big deal what our percentage is, because we close mostly every 3 months at the end of the quarters. If you go to the other slides, all the way down to slide number 19, it reflects that we are at 99.6% of our lead goal. So those numbers are fine too. A couple things I wanted to mention before I go. One, obviously I alluded to, it seems like an eon ago when we met the last at CIB, because it was right before the NFL was going to announce the fate of the 2023 and 2024 Combine, and I hinted that we felt pretty good about it. That turned out to be right. We did end up winning 2023 and 2024, as you know. We're certainly not out of the woods in the long run for keeping the Combine beyond 24. The NFL told us that they will have, more than likely, they will have at least one more RFP process for 25, possibly 26. So while we were able to beat out Los Angeles and Dallas on this last bid period, this is a 2-year hiatus in terms of being, they may bid as early as next year for those future years, but it gives those cities more time to figure out, particularly the medical component. We have a lot of people to thank for this, the Ursay family and Nicole and Pete Ward, Andy and Monique and Eric and the CIB team. The Sports Corp was very helpful in this particular process, the mayor's office. Chris Dahl in particular, he's on vacation this week, so he's not there to bask in my praise of him, which I rarely give. But you know, Chris is terrific, and he was the lead on that bid process, and Susie Townsend and Donna Money were his vice chairs on that. And Chris lived, ate, breathed combine bid for months to get this thing home, and he did a really terrific job. So when you see him next time, please give him a pat on the back over this, because it was not an easy process to get there. But we do have more than likely one more bid cycle. I think if we get this next bid cycle, that we're potentially in really good shape, because IU Health is the ultimate secret weapon in this deal. If you know how the combine works, the medical portion is incredibly important to it. And I believe while we did a whole bunch of things, and Indy's perfectly laid out, and all the other stuff, all the organic tweets and social media, leave it in Indy, etc. I think the most difficult challenge for the other cities in this most recent bid and moving forward is just matching what IU Health can deliver on the medical portion. So kudos to the Indy community for keeping it, and we'll see what happens down the road. A couple other things. We had about $195 million worth of business in our suite for the Indy 500. So one of the things I always like to point out is, while I've seen reports as much as $500 million plus per year is generated by activity at the INS, mostly from the 500. That doesn't even count stuff like when we've got customers in our suite that might represent $200 million more in future businesses. So that's just a reminder of how impactful that event is. We just launched our $800,000 summer leisure campaign. So you should see the summer business pick up here in the next a couple of months. Some of that campaign, most of it is e-marketing, online, electronic media, that sort of thing. But we also do things like we wrap Uber cars in Louisville and Chicago. So nothing makes somebody in Louisville or Chicago who competes against us feel better than to see an Indy car wrapped in an Uber riding around downtown. The last couple of things I'll mention is the Association for Professionals in Infection Control and Epidemiology just wrapped up in the building. So these are folks who are dealing with things like global pandemics, and we couldn't have foresaw in 2017 that they would be meeting in the height of this stuff. 5 years later, that was a great case study. And then right around the corner, and I'm sure Monique will tell you more on this, is what I would call the greatest spectacle in volleyball, and that is the USA Juniors Girls Nationals. 60,000 folks will be here beginning June 23rd all the way to July 4th. They actually produce more room nights and economic impact than even our biggest shows like Gen Con and FFA, FDIC, and PRI, because they're here for over 2 weeks. So it's a very long event between the first, I think there's even 3 waves that keep coming in. So from June 23rd on, you will see a very robust and busy downtown all the way through the July 4th period as a result of these volleyball teams. So that's it. Any questions?
Any questions? Comments? All right. Great report, and again, congrats on the combine. That's really exciting.
Thank you. See you all next time in the office.
Yeah. Bye, Leonard. Okay, Monique, got Convention Center update.
Thank you so much, and good morning, everyone. Just touching a little bit on what Andy mentioned a little bit ago. Since we're at the halfway mark in 2022, I thought I'd just update everyone on how we're doing on exhibit hall occupancy. It's oftentimes used as an indicator of really how things are going here at the center. We're still below 2019 numbers for exhibit hall occupancy, but we're inching a little closer to where we were pre-pandemic. We ended 2019 with exhibit hall occupancy at 65.4%. We're sitting right now in 2022 at 60.4%. So we're not quite there, as Andy mentioned, but we're still making positive steps in the right direction. Some highlights since we last met in May. The latter part of May, we successfully hosted Tyler Technologies as well as the American Academy of Physician Assistants. These were 2 really large national one-time events that we had back-to-back, and literally back-to-back. We had 0 days in between both of these. This is quite unusual for 2 very labor-intensive events. Our staff, really stepped it up and handled what was considered another Herculean turnover in such a narrow window of time. So those went really well. We then went right into the Indiana Economic Development Corporation's Global Economic Summit. That was another really labor-intensive, very important meeting, a lot of moving parts, a lot of details, and once again, a lot of our staff here just continued, as they always do, to show their professionalism, their dedication. They did some really important turnovers in such a narrow window of time. The Global Summit was a huge success, and the meeting planners were very pleased with the outcomes here at the Convention Center. In addition, somehow we managed in the latter part of May to also host 7 high school and college graduations, in addition to the 3 important meetings that I just mentioned. So May was, to say the least, very busy, but it was a very good month for us. June, we've already hosted Graphics Pro Expo. We've hosted Sports Inc. We had Kiwanis International with us last week. We also hosted PopCon. Just a quick note on PopCon, that's an interesting group. These are local organizers. They first came to the Convention Center in 2013, just a small idea. We worked really diligently with them for a year, and we were able to host their very first event in 2014. They had 1 exhibit hall, and they welcomed over 5,000 attendees to their event. Fast forward to 2022, and just a week before last, they welcomed almost 30,000 attendees to the Convention Center. So this really just highlights the importance of community partnerships and our role at the Convention Center and even the stadium of how important it is for us to really foster relationships with even the smaller meetings. APIC, as Leonard mentioned, was just here this week. They completed their move out last night. That's the Association for Professionals in Infection Control and Epidemiology, another great first-time meeting for us, national meeting, and went really well. With us now, we have the Gospel Coalition National Women's Conference at the North Campus. We have almost 9,000 women from all over the U.S. with us here. Leonard's team first booked Gospel Coalition in 2016. They've been back every year ever since, obviously with the exception of 2020. So it's good to see them back. Looking ahead, starting Sunday, as Leonard mentioned, we'll be welcoming USA Volleyball's Girls Junior National Championship. Not to be confused with the other great volleyball tournaments that we host every year. This is not an annual for us, although we hosted them before in 2016. We had them again in 2019. They'll be back in 2026. But this is a really large group. They'll use all 11 of our exhibit halls. They'll lay over 80 volleyball courts, about 18,000 athletes, and upwards of 30,000 spectators for this event. As Leonard mentioned, they will be with us for a while. They'll be here for 17 days from the beginning to the end. Of course, that includes their move-in days, their event days, and their move-out days. So really excited, looking forward to having them. After volleyball, we'll do another enormous flip. We'll go from volleyball courts to some basketball courts. We're welcoming back another AAU tournament. We'll host a girls' AAU basketball tournament. This is a group that actually first came to Indianapolis in the Convention Center in the summer of 2020 at the very beginning of COVID. They've been back every year ever since too, so it's nice to have them back with us. Right after that, we'll welcome IBE Summer Celebration in the South Campus. It's nice to have them back after a 2-year hiatus due to COVID. We'll be hosting them in the South Campus in mid-July. At the very same time, we'll be hosting Sigma Gamma Rho's Centennial Celebration. This is a prestigious sorority that was actually founded at Butler University in 1922. They were celebrating their 100 years with us here at the center. Really exciting. We've been working with their organizers for almost 3 years, so it would be nice to have them back. And I look forward to kind of telling you more about those meetings as well as anything else that we may book. But before I go, I wanted to just quickly introduce to you our newest team member in the Sales and Marketing Department. Monica Brazzi is our new Public Information and Marketing Manager. She'll head up all of our social media, our website management. She'll also work with our client engagement. We offer our clients a lot of marketing opportunities within the Convention Center, so she'll be working closely with them. Obviously, all of our public relation efforts, as well as some other smaller meetings. So I wanted to make sure that I introduced her to you, as you will see her here each month going forward. And that concludes my report, and I'm happy to take any questions that anyone may have. Thank you.
Thanks for reading. Welcome,
Thank you.
Monica. Thank you. Any questions? I want to make sure I also make sure we ask on the phone too. Any questions or comments?
No, ma'am, I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, Mayor.
Great. All right. Great. Eric, hi. Lucas Oil update.
Good morning. I'll be very brief this morning, mostly because we're pretty dark at the stadium, and we're dark for a good reason. Tom has been working hard on our video board replacement, audio replacement, locker room renovations, and some other projects that we've all talked about in this meeting before. But we did have a decently busy month since we last met. And that includes the Indiana Swimming Board meeting, which was helpful. That's a local group as we tried to build excitement for the U.S. Olympic swimming trials in 2024. We had U.S. Foods in doing a demonstration for their vendors or in the suppliers that they use. We had Tyler Technologies in Lucas Oil Stadium as well. We had a wedding. We have a wedding next month that we're getting in there, so that's good, giving people opportunities in ways they might not otherwise. And then I want to give a shout out to Sodexo Live, who is our food and beverage provider. 2 events that we've had in the last month were really, I think, special. We had 20 children come in to taste test a potential menu for this fall. That went really well. It's never been done in our building before. We're trying to really make sure that we are selecting options that are attractive to kids. So that was really successful. They got to learn how the food was made. They got chef hats. It was great. So we'll be looking to do some more things like that. And we also had Epic Insurance in for a meeting as well. Other than that, we are basically working on bids and other projects as we get ready for the fall, which will begin for us in July with Big Ten Media Days, which will be our first event back once we're done with the construction, and that will be a special event, the second time we've had that. So, and then we go till Christmas with barely a day in between. So, thank you. If you have any questions, please let me know.
We had the Colts schedule announced too, right?
Yeah.
And we ended up with, I think we ended up 2 primetime games this year.
2 home Monday night games, which this is going to be my 6th season, and we've never had a Monday night game at home, so I'm excited to have 2 this year. But that's a big deal for the city, as you all know, and hopefully Jim will be able to attest that people came and spent an extra day in the hotels in Indianapolis. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, super excited. Really appreciative of Pete, and actually there'll be a rub, I think, with is it FFA? Yeah. Turn it over. So we'll have another Herculean turnover for Monday Night Football. So
That's right.
I'm available for taste tests.
I will not forget that. You will be invited to the next.
Have some experience there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Eric. Any questions on the call? All right. Great. All right. Thank you, Eric. Okay, Andy, we've got some guests in. I'll turn it over to you on the cafe.
Want to introduce, well, I'll let them introduce themselves. Our normal audit, is handled by the State Board of Accounts and has been directly with the staff of the State Board of Accounts. This year, the State Board of Accounts hired Kat Sepper and Miller to do the audit of the CIB on behalf of the State Board of Accounts, and here we have our friend from Kat Sepper Miller to present the audit.
Thanks, Andy. Scott Schuster with Kat Sepper Miller. I've got with me Trent Parkinson. So, as Andy said, we were contracted to perform the audit. We've completed the audit. The State Board of Accounts has a process where they review it. They've reviewed it, signed off. So at this point, we're complete, ready to issue. We just wanted to kind of give you a real high-level update on the audit process. The audit was conducted in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards. Part of that process is walking through your internal controls. We noted no weaknesses or deficiencies in that process. We had no audit entries. The scope of the audit went, as planned. There were no changes to the scope. Timing went as planned. Just to mention, we are independent in regards to the engagement. So, State Board of Accounts has contracted several audits to us this year, next year. This was by far and away the cleanest audit that we worked with. They were well prepared, very responsive. The financial statements were in great shape to audit. And really, to say no findings, no entries, I can't say that about too many of the entities we've audited. So, great job on their part.
Thank you very much. Just a comment, we do have to vote to accept the audit, but I just want to say that I'm super proud of Tim and our accounting and financial department. We really work hard to make sure that we're tracking and documenting and keeping all of the financial ducks in a row. and really thank you to Kat Tapper Miller and everyone for the feedback you have given us. We do listen very carefully to our auditors and make sure that we didn't get here overnight. It's a year-over-year hard work, and I'm just super proud of it. We are entrusted with a lot of, I mean, tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars in public money. This is tax dollars that comes from the Department of Revenue, and we're entrusted with that, and it's a sacred trust, and I really believe strongly in full transparency and making sure that we're not missing anything. So here we are with a clean audit, and I'm just super proud and thankful to Kat Tapper Miller for this.
Great. So you do have, oh, go ahead, you have a question.
I'm just, what's our relationship with the natatorium? CIB?
Ours, we have provided funding to the natatorium.
Well, we don't, it's not one of.
No, it's not. It's not.
It's not in the report either.
No, no. We have. Yeah. We love the natatorium. We just don't know.
The remodeling occurred that we assume responsibility.
Yeah, so we did contribute over the course of I think 10 years to fund part of that. I think that's done though. I think our last payment was last year or the year before. Financial support.
Good. All right. Well, you have a copy of the report. Andy, myself, and Nick did meet with Kat Tapper yesterday to ask further questions, so we feel good about it. If there are any other questions, we'll take them now. If not, we would like a motion to accept the findings. Any other questions?
So,
thank you.
So we need to do a roll call.
Sorry, we have Maggie moved, and do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Okay, all in favor of accepting 2021 annual certified financial report? Melina Kennedy.
Aye.
Mick Terrell.
Yes.
David Runcorp.
Aye.
Jim Dora.
Aye.
Maggie Lewis.
aye.
Earl Good.
Yes.
Sarah on. Jamie Bullerschmidt.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, on to number 6, the security software and licensing agreement. Andy?
Yeah, so the security software licensing agreement. Thank you, gentlemen. This is a contract for our cybersecurity technology software. It is a 5-year licensing agreement. Because it's 5 years, we're bringing it to the board for approval. This is our enterprise-wide agreement for our entire Cisco network. The 5-year term total is $160,955.74 to be paid annually, $32,191.15. It really is just for a whole cadre of security software maintenance and support. Really, it's just cybersecurity. And we recommend approval. This is a service contract, so we went through a service contract procurement process. So,
Any questions online or in the room? We could have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Thank you.
okay, all in favor of Melina Kennedy?
Aye.
Mick Terrell?
Aye.
David Runcorp?
Aye.
Jim Dora?
Aye.
Maggie Lewis?
Aye.
Earl Good?
Yes.
Jamie Bullerschmidt?
Aye.
All right, moving on to the elevator and escalator modifications.
This project consists of modification of our F1 freight elevator to include new microprocessor control system, freight door equipment, control system, and hydraulic components. We're generally rebuilding our big freight elevator. The project also consists of modification of microprocessor controls and 4 escalators along in the north campus along Maryland Street. The project was publicly bid under Indiana Code 36112. project was estimated originally at $900,500. The lowest responsible bid was submitted by American Elevator, Inc. in the amount of $888,000. American Elevator, Inc. is one of a limited number of elevator companies in the world. Somehow they've figured out a way to limit the number of elevator companies, and if anybody could possibly start a new elevator company, we'd love to talk to you. But as a result of that sort of really small market, there is no XBE participation. All of the work will be performed exclusively by American Elevator union technicians. Nonetheless, staff and council recommend the award to American Elevator, Inc. in the amount of $888,000.
Okay. Any questions in the room or online? If we don't have any questions, can we get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
All in favor, Melina Kennedy.
Aye.
Mick Terrell.
Aye.
David Runcorn.
Aye.
Jim Dora.
Aye.
Maggie Lewis.
Aye.
Earl Good.
Aye.
Jamie Bullerschmidt.
Aye.
Awesome. Thank you all.
Okay. This is the fun one. Disposal of obsolete equipment.
All right.
This is pretty obsolete.
I saw the hot dog rollers, the old cocktail glasses. This is a
I
good
mean,
one.
how old are they? Like antique? Yeah. So this, again, this is the process we go through when we are replacing and.
So moved.
Yeah, thank you, sir. All in favor? All in favor? Melina Kennedy.
Aye.
Mick Darrow.
Hey, Mick?
Sorry, aye.
David Runcorn.
Aye.
Jim Dora.
Aye.
Maggie Lewis.
Aye.
Earl Good.
Aye.
And Jamie Bullerschmidt.
Aye.
Thank you.
On to claims. So I'm going to ask on the claims if we can do operating first and then confirmatory separate. I'm going to recuse myself on only the operating.
I got you. Operating expense first. So our operating expense voucher for this month is $4,953,729.76. So we want to take that first. Also want to, if you have any questions, you have the expenses listed there. Okay. Assuming none, all in favor of approving the operating expense voucher?
I'm going to recuse on operating expense number 66.
Okay. McTerrell?
Aye.
Wait, I need a motion in a second,
Yeah,
sorry.
I need a motion.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Okay. McTerrell?
Aye.
David Runcorn?
Aye.
Jim Dora?
Aye.
Maggie Lewis?
Aye.
Earl Good?
Aye.
Jamie Goldschmidt?
Aye.
Okay, the confirming expense voucher, $6,838,984.98. You'll notice that we're starting to move more of our expenses into the confirming expense voucher to, in order to make sure that we're able to get checks out on time and we're not slamming Tim's staff. So you do have the listed expense items there. Let me know if you have any questions. Assuming not.
Not a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Second.
Okay. All right, all in favor, Melina Kennedy?
Aye.
McTerrell?
Aye.
David Runcorn?
Aye.
Jim Dora?
Aye.
Maggie Lewis?
Aye.
Earl Good?
Aye.
Jamie Bullerschmidt?
Aye.
And then the last one is the Cambridge Fieldhouse project. Again, not part of the operating budget of the CIV, but rather from our bond trust account. The dollars involved, $1,909,764.41.
We can get a motion?
So moved. Second.
All in favor, Melina Kennedy?
Aye.
McTerrell?
Hey,
Thumbs
Mick?
up, Nick? to. Okay, yeah, I can't hear you. Let the record reflect he gave a thumbs up. David Rumkorf.
Aye.
Jim Dora.
Aye.
Maggie Lewis.
Aye.
Earl Good.
Aye.
Jamie Bullish.
Aye.
All right, thank you all.
Okay, excellent. So we just have 2 quick items. Other business. Andy or anyone CIB have other business?
Oh, we need 3 vote on minutes? 'Cause Jamie-
Maybe just to be safe, let's go ahead and do that.
Yeah, we can just revote.
Okay,
We had a motion and a second.
It was Earl and Jim.
Okay, so we'll just
Yep.
revote that. All in favor of the minutes? Melina Kennedy?
Aye.
Mick Terrell?
Aye.
David Rumkorf?
Aye.
Jim Dora?
Aye.
Maggie Lewis?
Aye.
Earl Good?
Aye.
Jamie Bullish.
Aye.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good, I already signed it.
No, I would just like to say I really am proud of our staff, especially in the convention center recently. A lot of people think like the big events are the most time-consuming, the most difficult, and in a lot of respects they are. But we're actually looking forward to volleyball coming because it's going to be 2 weeks. Usually in our events, a lot of the activity and work is up front and then at the end. So to have 2 weeks where we have an event that whole time is really going to give our staff a well-needed breather, because the smaller events are really labor intensive. You got to move them in, you got to move them out really quickly, lots of turnover, lots of overtime. And so ironically, when our smaller events actually are more taxing. So we've been through a lot the last couple months, and frankly, we've all been through a lot the last couple of years. So I really just want to say thank you. I know some of them are here. Please pass on to your employees how appreciative we all in this room are of all their hard work.
Yeah, and if I may, on behalf of the state, the job you all did for the Global Summit was just amazing. I think there were 30-something countries represented, and probably at least, if not all the states, almost all of them. So, but it was really well done.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I just want to mention, Andy will send around, I know she doesn't like the recognition, but Monique Wise was profiled in a recent national publication and really is just quite a female leader in this space and talked about her experiences, and so congratulations. I'd like Andy to send that around to the board.
Yeah, I will. It's PCMA did a profile on Monique and talking about women in leadership positions in the event industry, and we're very proud.
Any other business for anyone on the board? The staff? Okay, with that, any public comment? All right, thanks everyone. Have a great weekend.
Thank you all.
We're adjourned.